Okay, once more, it is me. There have been many questions about comparing the original Playon 1, the TC970, to the Playon 2, the TC979. In particular, a big question is sound quality and the total volume capable of each of the tablets. So, since I have some access to various ones, I've decided to try and do a showdown between the two tablets. I have in my possession right now, borrowed from other members of the family, pretty much every Playon tablet we have. Actually, there's one more my brother has. Starting off, and I will also show some of the cases. Again, I apologize for the lighting scheme. I need to get better lights. This is the case that I recommend. It is currently housing my mother's Playon TC970. This is the HP Targus Truss case, something or other. If you check my review, I list it specifically. So you can see from the side here, it's a bit thicker than the other ones, but one of the upsides of that is it also helps protect. You've got an elastic strip here that you bring around to actually hold it closed. And opening up, you can set it back like that. You've got the tablet itself. I'm going to try and avoid getting the ceiling fan reflected in there. And you've got your buttons on the side here. This one has, along the bottom, a little a full-length holder there, which it fits snugly in. You've got little clips on the upper right and upper left, and they did not require any adjustment. Some people have said things with other ones like this that they used a hair dryer to adjust it or something, but no, this fits perfectly without any adjustment. On top of that, along the top, you've got the power button here, screen lock, volume buttons, volume rocker, so volume up, volume down. You've got your little slot for your card, microphone, 30-pin, and headphones. And so this one does not require you to remove the tablet from the case to access anything, which is its major upside compared to the other ones that we have. It's also got on the back here little ridges that you can lean it forward, like this, and you can choose the angle at which you have it, which is nice. One downside is, in order to get the stand effect, you have to have this come forward in front of you. So if you're doing that, you can see there's this area here that's still in front of it. Still, this is the general case that I recommend because you don't have to change anything for it. Fits perfectly, fits great. And the actual geometry, the layout for pretty much everything is identical between this, the Playon 1, the TC970, and the Playon 2, which is the TC979. So this is kind of cases. I'm going to close this one up, set it aside. And the black case was my mother's. My father's is here in this brown case. This was originally for an iPad. And this one is very similar to my case. I like it because it's a lot sleeker. You can see it's a bit thinner here. The downside is, along the top, I've had to cut out a spot where he can access the volume, and both he and I have to remove ours from our cases to charge them. And so it can limit access to some of the ports, which is a downside. And so I've also, for the TC970, I've had to cut out these buttons here so that they're easily accessed. One of the upsides to that is with the little features that I've left in there, you can tell where the buttons are in the dark, which with them not being backlit, a couple of people have complained about. I'm going to close that up. And finally, this one and mine are both held closed by little magnets, which I kind of like. Finally, mine, the purple one here, is pretty similar to the other one. This was designed for an HP touchpad. I originally had my TC970 in it, and I was able to hit the buttons pretty well over here without cutting this up. I did cut out my slot for my webcam and the light sensor up there. But again, as you can see, it blocks my 30-pin, and I'll have to remove it to charge it. But the main reason that I've got these here now is, and why I have 3 of them, is again to look at the volume issue. So I'm going to set up over here where it can be seen pretty easily. Let's see. Oh God, not my case. There. Oh, and the other cases, I apologize before I get away from that. The other cases have a little clip on the back here that you can tuck this up and under. And you're kind of at a set angle, but you still have the easel effect. Now, you're going to see different reflections like this compared to the other screens. That's because on mine, the 979, I actually got one of the anti-glare things so that I could use it a bit better outside. I'm going to have subsequent videos concerning that. So I'm setting this guy up. That's important. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the frequency program here. And you can see, as I speak, it spikes up. Our vertical axis here deals with intensity in decibels. And so background noise in this room is about -80 all the way up through 2000 hertz. And so this last column we don't care about. For the most part, the region we're looking at is right in here, a little to the right of center. Okay? And so now I'm going to start off with our Playon 1, the TC970. And in keeping with my theory that no matter what the question is, the answer is always Wagner, I'm going to come over, and we've got Ride of the Valkyries again. I'm going to show here that the volume is as high as it can go, and let's check this out. Okay, so there's that one. It was mostly in between -40, -50, maybe down into the -60 in this region. And so that gives us a baseline of comparison. And now we're going to try out our Playon 2, the TC979. And once again, its volume is all the way up. And I'm going to begin playing it. Okay, so a comparison between the two, the TC979 was actually a little bit lower. I'd put it a little bit closer to the -40, probably in between -40 and -50. So rough estimate, particularly in the region that we'd be looking right in here, you're looking at about a drop of, I'd say, 10 decibels or so, which is noticeable. And so now, okay, now for some more comparisons between the two. One quick note on mine, the Playon 2. Right now I have a screen protector. It reduces a little bit of the high def quality. I don't think you'll be able to see it with the compression these videos will have anyway, but I'm going to do a review on the anti-glare screen. It does cause a little bit of blurriness, but I don't really notice anything bad. For people who are real sticklers for the I want the absolute most high def I can ever get, but I also want this to act as a mirror, it's definitely not what you want. But otherwise, for normal people, I'd say that it's probably something that I would recommend. But what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with the TC970 before it falls asleep. They just have different settings as to when they fall asleep. So I'm going to bring up File Manager. There we go. Video. And I've got a video I loaded on here, Carmen, the opera. This gives you an idea of videos that are actually loaded specifically onto the tablet, how well it plays. And this may not be at maximum volume. I didn't really bother with it on this one. We've already done the volume comparison, so I'm going to stop this for now and move it over. And we have the TC979. Oh, actually, with this one, we want to go through the gallery. Here we are. Start over. There's back with the stand. I think that's roughly the same angle the last one was at. But this one has a slightly different player, but I think it's got a little bit better quality. Now these are identical files, and so can't see in the dark. There we go. That one cleared out. And so again, big differences in video. That gives you an idea of videos that are, actually physically on the tablet themselves, and so they're reading files there. As to other types of videos, the newer tablet, the TC979, the Lapalm 2, pretty much everything can be watched through the browser. And so you can go and watch Flash stuff directly through the browser. You can watch YouTube and all of that. You can also watch HTML-based video like blip.tv. Pretty much everything I've been able to watch through here in the browser, including Amazon streaming, which was the main reason I upgraded, because I wanted to be able to take advantage of my Amazon streaming ability. There was one that I was going to check. Yes, the Playon app. So there have been questions about Hulu, and I've actually shown that in one of the other YouTube ones, but this shows you, hey, I can access Hulu and a couple of other things through the Playon app. You can check out my other video, it's tacked on to the end, where I show an example of this actually running Hulu. And this one, the original one here, the TC970, it also can do the same thing by going through the Playon app. But to use that, you may actually have to purchase the permanent software from Playon. And so it can find the PCs, and you can even watch them remotely. And so, and there's Hulu, same list, you can watch it through here. And so there's that. And then finally, the last thing that there was a question about was, at least that I can access, is Crackle. Where did I hide that? There we are. Okay. And so Crackle loads up in portrait mode. And so that makes it a little weird on this. I don't feel like turning it back and forth because it's going to go back to this mode in a moment. Let's go with Stripes. There it is, Groundhog Day. Load that up and watch now. Start over. I tested this a moment ago to make certain that it would run. Part of the glow you're getting is, well, actually I'm not certain if it's, yeah, I think it's just kind of angles and whatnot. And so, I apologize about that, but I killed the lights in the room, and so you're having a little bit of effect from the camera equipment, and those lines aren't actually there. Stupid moire pattern. Okay, let me get this where it's kind of perpendicular to it. But it's a pretty good picture. It's not very sharp, but it's sharp enough. You can read the text, you can see everything just fine. It's not high-def quality, but I don't think anything on this is. Well, I don't think anything on Crackle is. I haven't looked over their full archive. And then to show that the same thing operates here, let's see, Crackle. There we go. Oh, apparently it functions in landscape mode on mine. Okay. Oh yes, I was supposed to set this up earlier and make certain that it worked. So, let's find the same thing here. Groundhog Day. Watch now. As you can see, the interface on this is probably a little bit better. Part of that's your newer operating system. And so, let's see. Oh, okay. Whoops. Resume. I didn't realize it was playing there. Again, I should have tested this a little before. It'll take a moment because I interrupted it. And there's a button there that we can go full screen. Actually, between the two, I can tell you it looks a little bit better on this one. I'm not seeing near as much kind of pixelated blurring on the clouds. They look a bit sharper. So that shows you, yes, Crackle is working on this. Hulu you can get to work, but you need third-party software. Crackle you can get the app through the Android market. And I believe that was all of it. Netflix, I know everybody's asking about that. I do not have a Netflix account, so I can't test it myself. But everything that I've seen in the reviews from many people has said you can go in through the Android market, you can get the Netflix app, and Netflix works great.